I really believe that, like, if I'm teaching leaders how to heal themselves, they can heal their teams and their teams can heal their families. What a different world that is.
What you're saying is so powerful and so beautiful, and we're both in the emotion of it, because how could you not be?
Yeah.
What I extra love about what you're saying is so often we hear the solution is jump ship, leave corporate. And it might not be. Hello, beautiful listeners. I am elated to have the other most phenomenal Tracy in the world, right? We have Tracy squared, and I adore this woman, this incredible, incredible leader coming and joining us all the way from New Zealand. Welcome to the stage, Tracy Tutty. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be talking to you today.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. And I could listen to you. Well, in the quote green room, we just said, what if we just stared at each other and smiled?
Yes, let's do that. What a fabulous day.
Fabulous day. Fabulous day. I could listen to you talk for hours. Tracy, please introduce yourself and tell the world who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So, hi, my name's Tracy Tutty. I'm a neuro-identity coach and a medical herbalist based in New Zealand. And I work with women leaders. I help them to understand why some days are just harder than others, even though on the outside, nothing seems to have changed.
Oh, amen. I'm sure now you're like, oh, yes, that's me, right? It's so beautiful. And it's such an honor and joy to have been able to love you as long as I have and mentor you and be with you when you coming through certification. And that's what we're having this conversation about, to really help other women that are considering coming into becoming certified. It's one thing for me to talk about it, but it pales in comparison to them hearing you talk about your experience and your results and the journey you've been on. So I would love, Tracy, for you to share, like, where were you in your business, in your life before coming into our certification?
Yeah, absolutely. So before I joined you in the certification, let me step back a little bit more, because it's been quite a journey. Been a big old journey. So at the time of me finding you, I was working as a head of finance. So I'm a chartered accountant. I was leading a finance team through a really tough time, right? They were having problems reporting the numbers. They had an IT system that had gone wrong. They were like doing their best, but they were up against it. They'd had poor leadership before that, so they were quite broken and disenfranchised when I joined them. And so I was already a medical herbalist and a high performance coach, as well as being a chartered accountant. So I joined that team and I led that team, and we came back from that. We were reporting the numbers with clean order, all of that good stuff, right? Pouring everything into my team and trying to fix this. I was the woman with a plan, who never seemed to get stressed. And I was like, the CEO would come to me and, hey, we've got this issue. No problem. Let me deal with that. Just like overachieving, because that was my addiction. That's how I felt good. And I got rewarded for it, right? But what happened was I noticed that I started to not like the Tracy I was becoming. So I was like sharper in my conversations. I couldn't remember the last time I'd laughed. And if you know me, like, I can't go a sentence without having a giggle about something.
Yeah, that's why I'm attempting to wrap my mind around that version of you, because I didn't know you deeply then. So yeah,
exactly. And like I had this sort of, I don't know, this underpinning anger and frustration, like pretty much all of the time. And I was at a point where I was so stressed that I would like throw up in the morning before I went to work, like pretty much every day. And I was like, oh my God, is there something wrong with me? Is there something else going on here? And I remember I was in an event with you, and this is before I showed up on screen. So like me talking to you now, that old Tracy would never have done that. And you were like, okay, so let's talk to somebody. And you do that most magical thing that you do, where you lean into the screen and you're like, so, hey, Tracy, talk to me. And like my whole body was like, oh God, no. Because not only did I not show up on camera, I never shared anything about what was broken, right? I always had that veneer going on.
Yeah.
And I remember you looked me straight in the eye and you said, Tracy, You don't have to do more in order to be more. And I was like, boom. My whole world like fell apart and came back together all in one sentence. And so I was like, give me more. And so that's how I started in your program. And then we went through, it was called Mind Magic back then, and it was amazing. And I started to unravel the parts of me. I started to share it a little bit with my team because I was doing high performance coaching with my managers as it was. So it kind of naturally fell into that. And then certification came around and I wasn't going to do certification. I was like, oh my gosh, who am I to invest that amount of money in that? Because it was US dollars and I'm in New Zealand dollars, and New Zealand dollars is way down. And like the accountant in me was like, Tracy, you could put a deposit down on a house.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was like, do you know what? This has like changed my world and I need to go deeper. So we went through certification and what we do in what was called My Magic is like life-changing, and compared to certification, it's kindergarten, right?
I love that.
So deep, and you get to know yourself so well, and the community that you're in and the bonds that you form with people, like for me, all over the world, really, because not a lot of people in New Zealand doing what we do. So yeah, that was my journey with becoming certified.
It's amazing. So as such an accomplished professional, you were already a coach, right? You've done certifications. It wasn't your first rodeo.
Yeah.
What made this certification a hell yes? And I'm stacking a question, I know that. And what makes this certification different than all the others?
Oh, that's such a good question. This certification is the thing that's missing in coaching. So I was applying high performance coaching and it works, right? It gets higher performance in your team. It helps you to create a life on purpose rather than, unconsciously going through life. Like any form of coaching does that. But it's like putting a Band-Aid on a severed artery, right? I'm going to bring in my herbal medicine aspects here, because the coaching that I was doing was fixing the immediate problem, but it wasn't addressing what was going on underneath. So what I would notice is that I would fix the immediate problem, but the identity that was driving that problem would just show up in a different way. And so for me, the missing piece really was, first of all, the identity piece. Like I was already working in the identity space, but the gateway was approaching identity through the power of the body. And for me, it was connecting the mind and the body, especially because I'm a medical herbalist, because I work with the body anyway. So it made so much sense. It just amazes me now that I never really figured that out, right? It's like herbal medicine working with the body, leading people working with the mind. And it took becoming to bring that together. That's the missing piece, I think, that magic gateway, and the fact that you can do all the things in the world to change your habits, to change your behavior. But if you're not addressing what's really going on inside and what's really approaching it, and also the fact that we're approaching it from the fact that you're not broken, you're just unraveling what you've learned,
Oh, let's just sit here for a second. We need to sit here for a second. Everything you're saying is gold after gold after gold. And that piece, you're not broken. So the real thing that has been circulating in the world now, it's, when we're recording this, it's coming out soon. But by the time you listen to this, beautiful soul, it will have already been in your hands. It's a beautiful free guide, right? And one of the things, and I can't wait for you to read it, Trace, you're going to love it. And I did a video. So it's a beautiful PDF. And then I did a video and audio companion training. And at the end of the video, we added my video blooper reel to the end. You are going to laugh your face. Just get ready, because I just watch it for shits and giggles now. It's hysterical. But one of the truths that I'm sharing in the real thing is that this whole entire online coaching industry has been built from the wrong level of consciousness. And that broken victim 3D level of consciousness where we perceive that we're a problem that needs to be fixed, that there's any world where we were ever broken. And what shifts for us, you just perfectly articulated that point. What shifts for us as facilitators and thus the client as receivers of our facilitation when we are operating from wholeness consciousness and only see them through the lens and energy and frequency of wholeness consciousness as simply a beautiful person who, you know, collected some adaptive behaviors and some protective mechanisms along the way and got some energy got stuck in the body and they got a little emotional congested, versus the brokenness and the fix it and the unworthiness. And I'm just so excited that that came through you right now, because it's one of the many ways that we at the school are actively, you know, working towards shifting the industry at large.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's broader than our industry, right? Because I see it in medicine as well. A lot of the conversations, especially because I'm working with women going through perimenopause, menopause transition, it's like, your body is amazing. Like, can you comprehend just how powerful your body is? And the fact that like something turns up in your environment and your body adapts to keep you alive or to keep you functioning without you even knowing it. And it's the same thing, right? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just your body dealing with what it's dealing with. Yes. Give it the resources, give it the building blocks, whether that's neuro-identity evolution, whether that's herbal medicine. Give your body what it's already asking for and let it do its thing.
Yes. Oh, when you said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. I always say that our biology is brilliant, right? It's brilliant. And it's like, dun, 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 dun. It's just constantly working to help protect and love you. And when we learn about our neurobiology, you know, this is what I love about this conversation with you, amongst many things. Like we're geeking out. We're having the best time. Like, it's all that just like if I could sit under the backyard, the mango tree with you, right? And our other practitioners and just geek out on all of this, it's so fulfilling to help our clients understand how this works, this whole body, this whole system. It's like all of this shit that we were never, ever taught that is the most important mechanics of how to be alive, not just live, but how to be alive and how to create success and how to feel great. It's just everything.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. So in your journey, you come through and you transform and then you come into becoming certified. Take me to where we are now. What has truly changed in your business and in you?
I think what's truly changed for me is so many things. Like how would I sum? I think it's a coming together, because I think when I met you, I was fragmented. Like there was like chartered accountant Tracy, medical herbalist Tracy, at home Tracy, going to the gym Tracy, like separate Tracys, never meeting kind of thing. And it's been a big old journey, because what happened was I oscillated for a little while. I was like in corporate life, and then I was, you know, I wasn't happy, and I was like, oh, maybe that means I'm not meant to be in corporate and I'm meant to be a coach full time. So I did that for a while. And then I was like, actually, I kind of miss corporate. And it's been a big old journey to bring the two together and realize that my sweet spot is actually serving both. Like I still work in corporate. I still lead a finance team, and I lead them through, I was talking to someone in HR about this, and they were like, you have this like natural coaching leadership style. First of all, most of that stuff's not natural. It's learned behavior. But it's like the neuro-identity stuff is like everywhere, right? I'm having those conversations in a corporate environment where, you know, like my biggest thrill is when I hear my team go, you know, when they're dealing with something tough and I walk past them and they're like, okay, breathe. It's like, how often do you hear that in a corporate environment, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And so for me, it's bringing those parts together. So I lead a finance team. I do it through the lens of neuro-identity evolution, which means that I am still performing at the same level I always performed at, but I'm not worn out by it. I'm still enjoying it. But also, like, I'm able to hold the space and have the hard conversations with love. You know, and when I see someone in my team who's suffering, a couple of them gone through a bit of a rough time lately, like a lot of people, I'm able to sit with them and hold that space and have that conversation. And I'm like, do you know what? I wish like 20 years ago when I was going through stuff like that, I wish I had a manager who had the, the ability to do that.
Yes.
What a difference that would make in corporate, right? Because I really believe that, like, if I'm teaching leaders how to heal themselves, they can heal their teams and their teams can heal their families. What a different world that is.
Let's stay here for a minute. Because what you're saying is so powerful and so beautiful, and we're both in the emotion of it, because how could you not be?
Yeah.
What I extra love about what you're saying is so often we hear, when the Great Resignation was going on, and, everyone thinks the solution is jump ship, leave corporate, right?
Right. Do something different.
Right. And if that is your truth and a line for you, like it happened to be for me, because the vessel that I am was tapped to do this, right? And it might not be. And when we consider the two main kind of throughways of mass society, we have academia and we have corporations, right? Because we must go through school, and most people are employed. Entrepreneurs are actually the outlier.
Yeah.
When we can touch base with what you just so beautifully articulated and say, so when we get certified, like if you're listening right now and you're like, oh my God, yes, this is me, or I'm in corporate and I want to stay there, or I want to, whatever it is, corporate America needs this work so desperately to be able to stay in corporate and change it from the inside. Because you're working at the root cause level, which is always the nervous system and is always identity, right? Like, and you and I geek out on this too. I was a VP of HR. So I've watched organizations invest gazillions of dollars for no new result, because they were working on personality level stuff or time management training or your grandfather's leadership development. And it's like, no, if you are not touching the root cause, which is the nervous system, then it's never going to be as great as it can be, because a corporation is comprised of individual humans functioning as a collective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like a family, right? And sometimes families are triggering and sometimes families are supportive, just like being at work.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
The follow-on of that coming together, and this is quite recent, is that I realized that it doesn't have to be an and or. It doesn't have to be coaching or herbal medicine or corporate. It can be both. And so that's what I do. I work part-time for an organization leading a team. And I also have I'll call it my own business, because that's the container it's housed in, where I work as a medical herbalist and I work as a neuro-identity coach. And what that means is that, like, I can choose the clients I want to take, because there's no pressure, because I got a job. And so I get to have fun with that. And I'm also able to bring like real world experiences to what these leaders are dealing with, because they're dealing with stuff that I'm dealing with. So it's kind of a win-win. And it's curious that it's taken quite a road to get to the place where that's together. And so I guess my invitation, if people are listening to this and they're thinking, well, do I want to do corporate? Do I want to do coaching? Yeah. There's a third option. There's a third door.
There is. And the world is ripe for it now. The world was not always ready, and as time goes by, more awakenings happen, consciousness elevates, corporate listen to a conversation like this and they're like, oh my God, yes, it is time for us to realize that all professional development at its core that's worth a damn is personal growth. There's
totally.
How did that not occur to us all this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's an incredible conversation. And I love the blend, right? The medical herbalist work that you're doing and you do so profoundly, and the NIE work that you do so profoundly. And then the way that you're weaving it into the peak performance coaching work you were doing prior, it all can complement and amplify.
Yeah. Because it's about what works, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So good. What, if you had to pinpoint like the single most outrageous result that I've created because I got certified? What would that be?
Well, I've had more clients this year than I've ever had.
Yeah, girl. We'll take
and it wasn't
revenue
hard.
and growth, and it wasn't hard. And that part.
Yeah. I held my first 3-day experience called the Biology of Leadership a couple of months ago.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And that was like, it was very new because it was a lot of things that I'd been talking about over the past year with clients. And I just felt that urge to bring it together into one container. I'd never done a 3-day experience before. It's quite different holding that energy for 3 days, as you know. And it was fun. And so when I think back to like previous versions of Tracy, like I didn't even show up on camera. So it's interesting because for me, the biggest shifts is that internal stuff, eh?
Yeah. Let's stay here because that expansion, transformation, evolution, right, tells me that you now feel safe being seen and heard in the fullest expression that is you.
Thank you for naming that.
Like let's celebrate it. Let's be together. It's so significant.
Yeah, my body's like, yes, that.
Yeah, it's so significant. It's so significant. Yeah. And what makes this so significant for whoever is lucky enough to be listening right now is the world we were all brought up in wants us to say the biggest result was the external one. Has trained us to perceive that the biggest result was I held the 3-day retreat, or the biggest result was I have more clients than I've ever had and it doesn't feel hard, right? Which are fuck yeah, love it all day.
Yeah.
Take it more.
It's a symptom, right?
Yes, and correct. What you just said about really the biggest result is internal. I want to make sure, because we know that the mind of someone who has not yet come through our work is very limited.
Yeah.
And if you're listening right now, I want to make sure I'm opening the aperture for you and you're really going, okay, wait a second. So Tracy's expression of the biggest result was truly internal. That is the win of the win of the win, because when you shift internally, that's when everything in your experience changes and evolves. The way that we get the flow and exponential result of anything outside is when we actually sustainably change inside.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because that internal change, like, it triggers a whole lot of external stuff that often you don't see as well. Like, it's even the little things like, do you know what? I feel like doing a 3-day experience. And instead of like having to think through it and like plan it out to its nth degree and have a plan for a plan for a plan, I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Why not? It's a different experience.
It is a different experience. And are you saying that brings up another curiosity for me that I'd love for you to share with our listener? Will you speak to, I say a lot, once you get certified, I give you everything. You get the program, you get the assets, you get the license, you get the done for you workshops. Can you speak to how true that is? Like when I say give you everything, I feel like that's a huge differentiator inside of this certification.
Yeah.
So speak to the assets that you.
Yeah, I love that you asked that, because this was one of the things that convinced my conscious mind, if you like, because I was like, oh, cool. Like, okay. So I go through this thing and I get the coaching agreements with my clients. I get what to put on my website. I get 4 workshops. I get some like how to create your marketing. And my mind was like, oh, those are all things. We like things. So I was like, yeah, I want that. So you really do get like the whole container. And it's interesting because when I first started teaching it, I was very much like following, that like slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. And then you kind of like, you get into your own groove, right? You're like, okay, so my like my favorite focal point is like talking about supporting our bodies, because that's my previous interest, and how like I can give you a herb to support your body and it's going to change the physiology in your body. It's going to change your body so that you feel more relaxed, for example. And you can keep on taking that herb so that every time you feel anxious or stressed, you take that herb and you feel relaxed. And that's a good thing. The other thing I can now do is I can talk to you about actually what's going on inside your mind, what's going inside of your beliefs that's triggering you to be in that space where you're choosing to experience anxiety. And so now we go from the top down and the bottom up at the same time. And so that naturally influences how I share your work, because your work is so vast. You could just take like one subsection of those assets and teach that, and it would be enough to change people's lives.
A gazillion %, and it's our work now. And yeah, I feel that way too. Like, which is also one of the things I love, you know, talking about the tangible side of what you get once you're certified, you know, because my biggest frustration when I would come through in my journey, when I would, whether it was my first, I call it like my baseline, you know, coach certification, or when I went in and, you know, even when I became a hypnotherapist, or then when I took other certifications in neurology and whatever it was, I would leave feeling more knowledgeable and more like confident, like, cool, I got that. And then without fail, I would be like, now what the fuck do I do? How do I put it together with a thing? Like, right. Which is why when I created the certification, I was adamant about like, I'm not going to have our practitioners experience that. I want you to be able to get certified on Friday and deliver your first experience on Monday and have to do nothing other than put your brand colors and your titles and your things on it.
And you can.
And you can. And you can be able to play in that accordion that you're describing, right? Like when you do a 3-day event, there was a few certified practitioners that I helped recently that were creating their in-person. And I'm like, you can take any portion of the neuro-identity evolution methodology and boom, you've got 20 hours of retreat curriculum. You've got, so you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so malleable.
Yeah. And each segment is so powerful in its own right. Like I used to be really fixated on, I've got to teach like all the things. And then I had this amazing client and I like literally took her through session 1 and changed her life. Like she came back to me and she said, I turned off my laptop. I didn't worry about it. I spent the weekends with the kids. I just went away for like 3 days and I didn't look at my email once. And it's like, it's completely changed her family dynamic. That was the first session. That's the session when we're just getting into it.
Right. We're just getting ready to get ready. So good. So good. Oh my God, Tracy, I could talk to you for hours. So I have 2 main questions. One is there anything that I haven't asked you or anything that we haven't touched on that you feel is important to share?
I just, like, I'm thinking about, you know, the people who are listening to this and maybe thinking about, do I or don't I? Yeah. And like, I get it because I was in that space. You know, I was in that space where I was like significant investment and then my whole mind was like, oh, you're going to change. We don't know if we want to change because you've actually changed quite a lot. I don't know if we're ready to change some more, you know, and all of that stuff going on. And so my invitation to anyone who's in that space is, hi. I get it. And I just invite you just to like take a moment. You know the work that you've been through, just like hand on heart. Just listen to what your body wants. And don't worry about the timing. Like, you know, if now's now or if it's like in the future, that's okay. But just trust because your body always knows.
Yes. Yes. I have no further questions, Your Honor. Yes. 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 I am so grateful for you for this conversation. And I feel so grateful to be who I get to be and get a front row seat in your incredible journey and witnessing what you're doing. I just feel so lucky. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm just so grateful that the universe conspired in my favor and we met.
That's right. It always is. It always is. It always is. It always is. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, beautiful souls, you know what to do. Tracy said it. Trust your body. Learn to trust yourself. If you haven't applied, apply. And if you have already gotten your email saying that you have been invited to enroll, click the link and enroll. And until next time, remember, there's always more love. Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah.